Your voice is the one thing that has always been yours. It's the thing people recognize before they see your face. The sound that tells your mom you're okay. The thing your kids know from across the house. And right now, someone with a laptop and 15 seconds of audio can fake it perfectly. This is not science fiction. This is happening today. In 2023, a woman in Arizona answered a phone call and heard her daughter screaming. A man's voice came on and said he had kidnapped her. He said he would hurt her unless the family paid immediately. The mother could hear her daughter crying, begging, terrified. Except her daughter was completely safe, sitting in a car a few miles away. The scream, the voice, the tears, all of it was generated by AI. The entire phone call was fake. That's where we are. The technology that made this possible is called voice cloning, and it's not locked behind some government program or expensive lab. It's available to anyone with an internet connection and a credit card. Some tools will clone your voice from as little as 3 seconds of audio. Others need a minute. A few of the more sophisticated ones can do it with a single voice memo forwarded from a random WhatsApp group. So how does it actually work? It starts with machine learning. You feed a system enough examples of a person talking, tone, rhythm, cadence, the way they breathe between sentences, and the model builds a statistical map of that voice. It learns the frequencies, the patterns, the subtle quirks that make a voice unique. Once it has enough data, it can generate new speech in that voice, saying things the person never said. It doesn't copy a recording, it reconstructs the voice from scratch. Researchers at Carnegie Mellon University have been studying voice synthesis for years. Their work helped establish just how little audio a modern cloning model needs to produce convincing output. The answer was unsettling. In controlled tests, listeners could not reliably distinguish between a real voice and a cloned one when the clone was generated from just 30 seconds of source material. Only 30 seconds. That's a voicemail. That's a short Instagram video. That's a clip from a podcast. And here's the part that changes everything for you personally. Your voice is probably already out there. Think about how many places your voice exists already. Videos you've posted, voice notes you've sent, Zoom calls that were recorded, podcast appearances, TikToks, YouTube videos, phone calls saved by the other person. Any one of those is raw material. Any one of those is enough. The companies building these tools are not hiding. 11 Labs, one of the most widely used voice cloning platforms, has been public about what their technology can do. In early 2023, their system was used to create cloned audio of public figures saying things they never said. The company tightened its policies after that, but the capability exists, and dozens of competitors have emerged since, many with far fewer guardrails. What can a cloned voice actually be used for? The Arizona kidnapping scam was one example, but the attacks go further than that. Imagine a cloned voice calling your bank. Voice authentication systems, the kind that say, your voice is your password, have been fooled by cloned audio in security research tests. Imagine a cloned voice leaving a voicemail for your elderly parent asking them to wire money. Imagine a cloned voice appearing in a video alongside a deepfake face, telling your coworkers something that gets you fired, or worse, that gets you arrested. A security researcher named Joseph Cox at 404 Media documented a case where he cloned his own voice using a free online tool, then used that clone to bypass the voice authentication system at his bank. The whole process took less than an hour. He published the findings. The bank's response was to acknowledge the vulnerability and say they were working on it. Yeah, they said they were working on it. This is the gap where most people get hurt. The technology moves faster than the systems designed to protect you from it. A professor at the University of Buffalo and one of the leading researchers in deepfake detection has been working on tools that can identify cloned audio. His lab's detection models can flag synthetic speech with reasonable accuracy in controlled environments. But the catch is the same one that haunts every arms race. The detection tools and the generation tools are improving at the same rate. Every time a detection system gets better at catching fakes, the cloning models get better at slipping past them. So what can you actually do? The most important thing is to stop trusting your ears alone. If you get a call from someone who sounds like a family member and they are asking for money, hang up and call them back on a number you already have saved. This one step would have stopped the Arizona kidnapping scam. A quick callback. That's it. The second thing is to set up a verbal code word with people you're close to. A single word or phrase that only you and the person you trust know. If someone calls claiming to be your spouse or your kid and they can't give the code, you don't comply. This sounds dramatic, but it's not. It is exactly the kind of friction that makes social engineering attacks fail. Third, be selective about where your voice lives online. You don't need to disappear, but think about the audio you're putting into public spaces. A private Instagram versus a public one matters. A password-protected video versus an open YouTube link matters. Fourth, treat voice authentication the same way you treat a single password, as a single point of failure. If a company offers voice as your only authentication method, ask if you can add a second factor. Most can, and most will. And fifth, be skeptical of urgency. Every single scam built around cloned voices has one thing in common. The attacker creates a scenario where you feel like you have to act right now. No time to think, no time to call back, no time to verify. The urgency is the weapon. Slow it down, and the attack collapses. Your voice has always been one of the most personal things about you. Something nobody else had. Something that felt safe because it felt impossible to fake. That was true for a long time. It is not true anymore. The question now isn't whether someone could clone your voice. The question is what you're going to do before they do. You've had your voice your whole life. Now you have to protect it.